arm. You want to see the
scratches?
You want?
I got scratches.
I can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I don't
gonna
give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're gonna
bring
Is
the
that
whole
a threat?
fucking army. I don't give a fuck.
How does this make you feel?
Huh?
You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
Is that the
feel?
one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
Scratches?
You want?
I got scratches.
I can show you the picture.
So, this is Cynthia Ortiz. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcast. It's 11th of September, 2022. We do the disclaimer. We don't have to, Mark, but we're going to do it anyway. Because at this point, you keep doing exactly what we say, and we say it before. So, everybody's laughing at you, and you're, she's guys, you can't just say use allegedly. I can. Why don't you get your client off me? How about that? You restrain your client, and then you can talk. You can start making demands. Right now, you don't have any room to make demands. Get your fucking client off me, sir. He's in violation of the law. Title 18, United States Code 1512, 1513, stalking laws, Peeping Tom laws, hacking laws, witness tampering, coercion. Get him off me, then make demands. Otherwise, shut up. Everybody's sick of hearing that. She can't just say use allegedly. Wow, but you guys keep doing the same thing she says. Our information, Mr. Warman, is very, very specific. We get it before you do it. Your client knows we have it, and he does it anyway. So, you know, I'm sorry, but you're making everybody laugh at you. All of you are. Calvin, you're the gift that keeps giving. We have more intel because of you pissed everybody off. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. So I'm listening to the radio yesterday, KRMG, and they're talking about, I don't even remember what show it was now because I was focusing on my work and I just kind of caught part of it. Listening to the son of a bitch. It was one of those talk shows, and the guy's like talking about something, and and I noticed he used the words dishonest, slime, and collusion all together. So you understand that in the minds of normal people who aren't weirdo and criminal like you, those three words go together: slime, dishonest, collusion, corruption, slime. So, Mr. Calvin, when you go at me and you get told on, what in the world do you think that's for? You're the gift that keeps giving. You really piss people off. You need to chill. Mr. Warman, get your client off me. Get him the fuck off me. He needs an alibi. He needs to be able to show he's doing anything but what I say, and he can't do that. So I'm gonna, if you notice, we have to repeat ourselves a lot because Mr. Perry has Alzheimer's or something. So I guess they all do. We're constantly saying the same thing over and over and over and over, and it still doesn't click for them. So we get, now I can't remember. We get this one last night. Hang on. I guess David was talking to somebody yesterday. We got that one. And he yells, stop, 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 stop. Don't listen to him when he says that. Mr. Robertson is very rude. What happens when you start saying something that makes sense or something that's on the right track, he doesn't like that. So he gets rude and interrupts. Stop, 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 stop. And you're like, oh my God, wow, okay, so I hit a nerve there, or he wouldn't have done that. That's bad social form, sir. It's your gaslighting or something. And whoever he did that to, you don't have to put up with it. He doesn't get to interrupt. He needs to shut up and listen. He's in a lot of trouble. So, we got that yesterday, Mr. Robertson, you doing that little trick. Pinto did the same thing to me when I was talking to him. I started saying something that made sense, and he interrupted me very rudely. Stop, 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 stop. Wow, but I don't want to stop. I want you to shut up and listen to what I have to say, or get out of my face. How about that? So, long time ago, we get this one. Remember, I'm not told who it is, so I don't know who it is. There's a strategery involved with that. The guy says, Mr. Perry has gone up to Oklahoma and for 6 years inserted himself into her life, made spousal decisions for a woman who is not his wife and wants nothing to do with him. Told everybody in Oklahoma that he's some powerful guy and that they're married. And she won't even talk to him. She won't see him, she won't talk to him. People started thinking it was a little weird after 6 years. He's never with her. He's with her family. He's with her friends. Never with her. He's by himself. And they thought maybe he's a little wacky. She says he's stalking. So I guess last night you were talking to somebody. The laws don't acknowledge concubine, and she's not consenting. And is it political or is it personal? It can't be both. If it's personal, you went into court and lied when you had her false arrested in 2016. If it's political, show me evidence it's political. If she's a consenting party to some sort of relationship, show me that. Looks to me like she's not. And if we exclude both of those, then you're just a stalker, and stalking is a felony. Now what do we do? And I guess my family went ballistic when they heard that. Right? Her aunt went ballistic. Probably they're wondering, what do we do when we see her? Because all this time we've been going along with his thing. I guess there was some wedding that you told them was going to happen. Where do you get this stuff, Mr. Perry, delusional? I moved twice to get away from you. I don't like you. That's not hard to understand, Mr. Perry. Stalking is a felony. Hacking is a felony. Coercion is a felony. Witness tampering is a felony. Peeping is a felony. Everything you do is a felony. Can't you tell the difference between a date and a felony? Anyways, the guy says, 1 minute, Mr. Perry's told about 5 different stories up in Oklahoma. 1 minute, she's a threat, and he needs an entourage to protect himself. Do you know anyone that leaves the safety of home in Lubbock, like 5,000 miles away, and goes to where the threat is, and he won't leave? Like, they can't get him to leave. And he walks around with an entourage. And the next minute, that's his wife. Only she won't fucking see him. So, there's not even been a date. Everybody, there's not even been a date. There will never be even a date. So whatever he tells you, it's bullshit. He's delusional. The guy's got Huntington's disease or something, literally, and it causes delusion and paranoia. So I've moved twice to get away from a man who's a threat. Picked up everything I had, started all over again. In midlife. Twice. To not be around a threat. I spent $5,000 on no-show fines for a lady to get diabetes. You have to pay a no-show fine if you schedule work and you don't go. $50 a night. $5,000 I spent in the period of time, about a year, to avoid a threat. And he goes where the threat is with an entourage, and they can't get him to leave. In 1 minute, there's going to be a wedding, and the next minute she's a threat, and I need an entourage of security. And the guy's like, I don't even know what to say to that. That's wacky. So the person he was talking to said, if all you have to do to be married these days is watch TV and sign the girl's name on a piece of paper for her without her even knowing about it. You don't need her consent. She doesn't have to like you. I'm married to Jennifer Aniston. So I guess last night there was a conversation. She's not... is it political or is it personal? Did you lie in court 7 years ago? Where's the evidence of a political vendetta? Because you said it was a political vendetta. It's not political and personal. It's the one or the other. If it's personal, where's her consent? Because it looks like those two things are actually excluded. You're a whack job and you're a felon. You're about to be a felon. You're stalking. So I guess my family got wind of that and got mad. What are you supposed to do next time you see me? Nothing. I couldn't talk about what I was supposed to do. I wasn't even supposed to say there was an investigation. We were not allowed to talk about it. The only reason they let me say there was one is because Mr. Perry was recorded talking about killing me so much. They decided we better at least let him know that there is such a thing, but you can't tell him or anyone who we are. Maybe that will deter murder. They've gotten more sense. This guy's a bold one, a stupid one. Because every time he fucks with me, he gets caught. Calvin, I have your name. I mean, what is wrong with you, sir? Everybody loves you today. I mean, you pissed everybody off like a motherfucker. So we got more because of you, Calvin. You're the gift that keeps giving. You and Charles both. And David. Stop. We're like, oh my God. Oh my God. It's so easy. It's not fair. So... I guess the guy last night said, you can't hang out with her family and think that you're in a romance with this woman. I mean, what planet do you live on? This guy's, I take pictures of you because I'm a stalker. As Mr. Perry does the same thing. I'm going to get you. He says exactly what this guy says. Stalkers often stalk the family too, or use the family to stalk, or both. So, my family needs to know that. My family, I'm sorry I couldn't talk to you about this when I got here. I wasn't allowed to talk about it. After I did start talking about it a little bit, I mean, I caught some shit. So, I can't, here's the thing. I'm going to say something that I'm allowed to say. I'm going to say it one time. If you can't fucking keep up, Mr. Perry, that's your problem, Calvin. As far as my family goes, we've also heard all the times you thought they were leaking and threatened to call the EPA and have them shut down, or the IRS. So, because I said something about it, I don't know if you did or didn't, but you got caught on that, you're threatening my family. I told you to stay away from my family. Right? I said fuck off from my family. My family doesn't have a fucking thing to worry about. Everything's fine. Everybody makes mistakes in this deal. Everyone made mistakes. Everyone needs to, I'm sorry, learn from it, move on, put it in the past. Just like that. It's that, just like that. There's nothing else to it but that. Mr. Perry has lied and lied and lied and lied. One clue should be when someone's lying, when they go, don't talk to her about it. Because if you talk to me about it, you're going to hear me go, nope, he's full of shit. Don't believe a word he says. That's why he said don't talk to her about it. But since you didn't talk to me about it, I'm assuming there's a reason, a good reason, and I'm not worried about it. So my family's fine, Mr. Perry. You're not going to cause conflict in my family anymore.
Right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I don't
gonna
give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is
the
that
whole
a
fucking
threat?
army. I don't give a fuck.
How does this make you feel? You're filming my father and my fucking sister.
This is how everybody else sees you.
Leave me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
That guy's been raping you.
Corruption, collusion, dishonest, slime, disgusting. It's not like you bring warm, fuzzy feelings, Mr. Perry, Calvin. All you guys, David. Everybody hates your guts. We don't have problems getting information. You do. You don't get a date. You get told on. It's been that way every day for a decade, Mr. Perry. Take the hint already. You're not wanted. You're not loved. You're told on. Everybody hates you guys. Sick of this shit. Everybody's sick and tired of y'all. People don't like suffering. They don't like hardship. They don't like corruption. David, you got in somebody's face yesterday. I think you owe that person an apology. I don't know what is wrong with you. People hate you, David. Everybody hates you, David. Do you understand? You have pushed and shoved and bullied and pushed and shoved and bullied, and now people have turned against you. Sir, we don't have problems getting information. You do. Because everybody's sick of your attitude and your bullying and your corruption and your mafia and your murder and your rape, and it's enough. It's enough. Don't get in people's face. I wouldn't do that again if I were you. Don't get shocked and dismayed if we start, quoting you until your arrest. You're going to jail. All of you are. All of you are. It doesn't matter what TPD does. I don't know what the hell's going on with TPD. It doesn't matter. They had 5. My guys have a whole lot more. There's a lot of offenders. It's not just Charles and Dave and all those, Calvin. It's more victims, more offenders, more jurisdictions. It takes longer. You guys are piling up. You're keeping our guys busy. Very, very busy. So, when we find out before, y'all act like you don't know what that means, that we have that information. I've never seen such mental slows in my life. We have the information about what you're about to do that is a criminal act against me, and we have it before you do it. I knew Mike Neely was drugged before it was on the docket. It wasn't even taken into deposition yet, Mr. Robertson. Now get in somebody's face and yell like that again. I dare you. I fucking dare you. Stop. You need to shut up and get some manners. This is how everybody sees you, Perry. I mean, you're terrorizing.
I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I
Just talk.
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you.
What
I don't ever
happens?
want to hear your voice to you. Please,
what
God
happened?
bless you, but
What
please leave me
happened?
alone.
What-
Please leave me alone. Please stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't.
About
Stop
stress.
stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I
No. Just talk.
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes. I'll
No,
leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I
What
don't ever
happens?
want to hear your voice to you. Please,
what
God
happened?
bless you, but
What
please leave me
happened?
alone.
What's-
Please.
Now, what did I say, David? The cops do not own the police department. Chief Franklin doesn't own it. The governor doesn't own the state. You don't own it. It's owned by the people of Tulsa and the people of Oklahoma. It is not to be run by thugs. It is to be managed by Chief Franklin and Governor Stint. And when people are dissatisfied with that, they'll change the way they vote. Meantime, you need to get a life, Mr. Robertson. Get a life. I remember the girl at Lady Godiva's that you fucked with, I didn't even know what to do. I didn't even know what to say. She's late for work. One of those guys in there now, I can't remember his name. Josh, maybe? It might have been Josh. Tells me she's not coming in. She was arrested. She's not coming in right now. I'm supposed to go get her here in a minute. He kept checking his phone. I'm like, what'd she get arrested for? Stolen car. I'm like, wow, okay. And so he waited a while. Then he goes, okay, it's time for me to go. He goes and he picks her up and brings her back. She says, when she gets back, I go, what happened? She goes, well, I got arrested for driving my boyfriend's car, my baby daddy's car, whatever, a boyfriend or something. He gave me permission. They arrest me. And then I hadn't even made a phone call yet, and he shows up to pick me up. How do you even know I was there? I hadn't called anybody yet. And I looked at her, I go, I think you know who did that. And she goes, yeah, I know who did that. So, I mean, David, like I said, eventually people are going to turn against you. When you bully and bully and bully and bully and rape and rob and pillage and destroy. Eventually, Calvin, you're going to have people start pushing back and saying, yeah, that's not okay. You're not going to do that anymore. That's enough. And that's what's happening every time we get what you're going to do before you do it. So what that does for us is it gives us mains ray. You did something you knew was criminal. We knew about it, that you premeditated it. You planned it. You intended it to cause an injury. You're trying to intimidate. And so you're not going to be able to get out of that one. I mean, the sentencing is harsher. When you're talking to your jury, you think they're going to love you. Nope. And when they have to hear all the shit you've said and done and planned to people here, you think they're going to love you. So the jury wants to blame. When there's a wrong, they want to blame, they want to punish. Americans in general, people in general, don't like suffering. They want someone to blame and they want someone to punish. So good luck to you, David, Charles, Calvin, when your jury has to hear what you did to me and Mike and that girl, that little girl, 20-year-old little girl. Good luck. Yeah, Mr. Warman, no one cares about your, she's not using, she can't just say use allegedly. Say that to the jury, okay? And see if they give a fuck after they hear what your client's done. All the hardships and the suffering that they've caused. See if they give a fuck. I'd love to see that. No one does, Mr. Warman. Everybody's just sick of this. We don't have problems getting information. Every day for 10 years, I've quoted y'all. McNamara email, almost 10 years, was 7 years ago, Mr. Warman. That goes into great detail about a crime your client intended to commit against me. And then he did it, and he knew I had that. He did it anyway. He does it all the time. They all do. She already knows. There's already an email about it. They heard y'all talking about it. They heard you planning it. You knew it was illegal. You knew it was you intended it to cause a harm. You knew it was a criminal act. You planned it. You did it anyway. It's premeditated, and it's criminal. We got the all the elements of a crime you have to show in court. You did it. We don't know. I mean, we've never seen somebody this mentally slow as y'all. It's been every day for 7 years. We quote you. Stop. Oh my God, wow. So here's how the rest of the world sees fuckers like y'all.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
You want.
I don't want free for this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. You need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
All right, so what the guy was saying basically is that Mr. Perry's come up to Oklahoma and lived a fantasy life where he's an important guy and he has a girlfriend. He won't even talk to him. So he's actually got a blow-up doll and he sits by himself in a hotel room watching women on TV and thinks that's a romance. Hangs out with their families. Anyways, that's when I was in Manford, somebody said something to me about he's a powerful guy, and I go, why do you think that? Like, why do you think he's a powerful guy? Well, that's what he said. And I go, he said he's a powerful guy. Yeah. Do you know what he really is? A small town, nobody, nothing senator in one of the smallest districts in the state of Texas. He doesn't, I mean, he's almost irrelevant. That district is so lopsided, it's irrelevant. A monkey could do that job. Literally, a monkey could call Michael Quinn Sullivan and say, how do I vote on this? And then vote like Michael Quinn Sullivan tells you to vote, and you're golden. You'll get elected. You have to get up and give a speech and say, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-gun rights, and I'm pro-protection of marriage, and you're in. Literally, it's that bad. I don't think anybody in that town thinks for themselves, but about 5 people. There's 5 people literally in that town that I respect, and everybody else is, I don't know what to say. I don't even have words. Remember, I've lived in Albuquerque, Baton Rouge, Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been around a lot of people, and in Tulsa, and I've never seen anybody like the people in Lubbock. I hate that town. I'm completely disgusted with that town. Mr. Tuberville, Tommy Tuberville, was the coach at Texas Tech, and went to a recruiting dinner, and got up and left. Didn't even dignify you guys in Lubbock with a goodbye. They thought he went to the bathroom. It's that bad. And then he said that place is like Iraq. And I was hearing it because I was working with the trainers, the athletic trainers for the football team, and they were complaining. We hate it here. As soon as he gets us something somewhere else, we're out of here. We hate it. We hate this town. I hated it. So it's just, there's something wrong in that town. Something very bad wrong in that town. But the thing is, I don't think anybody thinks for themselves. I think it's just strange. It's a very strange little place. So Mr. Perry is a senator, or last I heard, he was a senator in one of the smallest districts in one state. We got a whole country of people, and it's 86% Republican. So he pretty much is irrelevant. Anybody can do that job. Anybody can do that job. Call Quinn Sullivan and ask him what to say. Ask him how to vote. You're good. A monkey could do it, literally. So when I heard that, I'm like, do you wring your hands over what, thinking some guy's important from Alaska? I mean, if a state senator came in from Alaska, would you be all enamored with him? No, he just said he was a senator. That's all he said. Okay, but he's not federally state. So it's not the same. He's not important, and he's not powerful. He's a little podunk, nobody, boring, nothing. Literally, that's what he is. So he was coming up here with this entourage, telling everybody, oh, I'm a senator. I'm an important, powerful senator. And everybody believed him. Everybody went for it. And so he got some attention. And then he's telling everybody he has a romance. It's an imaginary romance. And so he's living a pretend life, hanging out with my family, going around telling people, I'm going to make decisions for her. The guy goes, he had no legal right to make any decision for her at all. There is no legal basis for that. And there's some people that are going to be in trouble for violating my privacy rights, for going along with what you did. You don't have the right to violate my privacy. You don't make decisions for me. I don't know who the fuck you think you are, wacky. You need a butterfly net. So, you don't get a date putting a woman in jail. It was a kidnapping is what it was. You don't get a woman by threatening to take everything she has and then taking everything she has. You don't get a woman by kicking her out on the street. You get women by whining and dining them. Making them laugh, making them have a good life. That's how you attract women. You don't get women invading their privacy. Mr. Perry, I wouldn't date a peeping Tom with a gun to my head. Just that alone. If there were nothing else, there's that. You're a turnoff. You're a fat, lazy, perverted turnoff. I have nothing but disgust for you. Warman, get your fucking ass weirdo client off me. Get him out of my life. You don't have a choice. Shut up about the use allegedly until you restrain your client. Okay? Until then, he wants to give us stuff, we're going to use it. We're going to use the hell out of it. And I hope to God your jury has some kind of... you're a lawyer. You ought to know that better than me. People get upset when they're suffering and loss and hardship. They want someone to blame and they want someone to punish. What are they going to do when they hear the recordings of your clients and you? Huh? David? Stop yelling. Oh my God. What are they going to do, David? Calvin? Yep, that's good luck to you on that.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
You want.
They're probably going to do this, think just like this guy.
I don't want to pray for this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them, especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. You need to leave her alone. And Mrs. Bacon.
Alright, so Mr. Perry's delusional, goes around telling people we're married. We've never even been on a date. 13 years. No chance of a date. I can't stand the guy. He's a turnoff. I'm not consented to anything. Apply the but-for legal standard here. But for Mr. Perry coming up to Oklahoma where I am and doing all this shit to me, we wouldn't do the podcast. And I can call him whatever name I want to call him. I'm the victim of a crime. Every day, every minute of every hour of every day. Apply the reasonable, prudent individual standard, and I assert all constitutional rights, including equal protection to Violence Against Women Act, anti-stalking laws, anti-voyeurism laws, anti-hacking laws, anti-coercion laws, anti-witness tampering laws. All of that. You need to fuck off. Right? What's Judy Parker's thing in this? Have you been dishonest with her? I've known Judy. She's... all I'm going to say is, the jury's going to see you like this.
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I leave.
Just talk.
Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you.
What
I don't
happens?
want to hear your voice to you. Please,
What
God
happened?
bless you, but
What
please leave me
happened when
alone.
she got...
Okay, so he's seen in Oklahoma He's got a forged marriage license. Lucky asked me about. Chief Miller came to my work and asked me if I signed a marriage license. And I said, why the hell would I do that? There's not even been a date. There will never be a date. This guy's a weirdo. I'm not going to go out with a weirdo. And he says, yeah, that's what I thought. It didn't look like your signature, but I had to ask. So that's been floating around. And I've not seen that document. I didn't sign that document. And if you are curious about that, give me your copy and watch Mr. Perry shit himself. Because he knows good and well I didn't sign that document and I haven't seen it. There's no consent. He's imagining something that's not real. And, you know, to be terrorized like this every day, I moved to Oklahoma to get away from that and avoid a conflict. Only a few of my close friends knew that I was being stalked. Most of them didn't live in Lubbock. They didn't live in Texas. Robert and Mandy were the first I told. He's coming up behind my backyard. He's coming up behind me in my backyard and watching me in my backyard. He's showing up at restaurants. I may have to move. That was in September 2011. There are Facebook messages all over the internet that show that. And that's all stalking. That has nothing to do with your legislative duties. Our shrink is like, he can't identify his legislative duties or what state he legislates in. He can't identify same and different. He can't identify before and after or cause and effect. None of them can. No cognitive reasoning at all. So it's almost like this guy's severely mentally retarded or suffering from senile dementia or some sort of aging degenerative disease. Maybe they all are. They're all old farts. But nothing they do makes any sense. I thought Mr. Perry would try to prove me wrong. He's not. He's not even tried. He is doing everything I say. He's proven me right. In my assessment, I haven't even examined him yet. But he's got some severe mental problems. Very, very severe. You don't impose yourself on other people. You don't do it. You kept me out of 3 civil lawsuits in which I was asking for protective orders or an injunctive order or something to make you leave me alone. 11 times. You bought your way out. I'm not in the courtroom. Nobody's overcome my evidence. There's not been a hearing. There's not been a trial where I get to present evidence and witnesses for you to overcome. What that has told people is, I have a case. What's the harm in letting her in a courtroom to show evidence she does not have? To assert a claim she does not have. So we all know that gave her a lot of credibility, actually, is what that did. One, she can argue the law for herself, since you called every attorney in Oklahoma and told them not to help me. Number 2, she's got a claim and she's got evidence, or they would let her in court. 4 times now, they've kept her out. One was in the murder trial of the police officer I just named that you murdered. Because we all know Mike couldn't have done it. He was knocked out. He's about to die with drug overdose that y'all gave him opioids. Who gave him? Where were they? There was nothing found in their stuff. Where'd they come from? David, you like arsenic, phenobarbital, opioids? You guys like poisoning people? And you're caught now when you did it to me. Same and different. It's the same every time you do it to me, but it's different that when you did it to me versus your other victims. Because you guys do this all the time. And you have the nerve to get in somebody's face and yell and then tell them stop, and rudely interrupt. Wow. We don't even know what to say to that, sir. But people are turning against you because they're sick of it. You've bullied so much that everybody's just had enough of it. Everybody's just fucking had enough of it, David, Charles, Calvin. So who was it that talked Michael into going to Pensacola? Was it Josh Burson? We heard it was Josh Burson. So, wow, that puts him in a situation there, doesn't it? I'm not even going to get into that. So only a couple of friends knew that Mr. Perry was stalking me. I didn't go to the media with it. I told Jordan, his guy, I didn't hurt Charles. I didn't go to the media with this. I went to you with it. And you threatened to ruin my business. How about thanks? We don't want somebody to see that. And cause the next election doesn't get won. You're Anthony Weiner. You've reduced yourself to the butt of a dirty joke, Mr. Perry. Either way, you know, when you're elected, you're held to a higher standard in how you conduct your personal life. And if the personal life mattered for everybody in the Me Too movement, Roger Ailes, speaking of which, whoever says we can't get her to mind us, go talk to Megyn Kelly about how women ought to mind you. Go talk to Gretchen Carlson. Go talk to Justice Sotomayor, Justice Barrett, Justice Kagan, about how women ought to mind you. You're on the Noah's Ark, dude. Getting the century. Mr. From century, way back when. Misogynist. That's why Tommy Tuberville's like, this is Iraq. Lubbock is like Iraq. Why don't y'all move to Iraq if you like that kind of thing? Subjugating women. There's laws on the books like violence against women. We have the right to live without you harassing us. Invading our privacy. Exploiting us. Mr. Perry, you owe me $1,000 a day for watching me in the privacy of my home or my car. And doing it without my consent. That's an additional $2,000 a day. And you are to cease and desist that right now. Get the fuck out of my phone. Get out of my phones, whatever computer I'm using. Get out of my car. Get away from me, sir. Get the hell away from me. Shut up. Nobody cares what you think. You act like you don't understand it when I say no one cares what you think. You are not asked. You're a butt-in, Connie Curry. Nosy body. No one asked you what you think. We're all sick and tired of hearing, I need a lie. I feel. I need. Shut up and get away from me. Just shut up and get away from me. The longer you're in my life, the longer I'm broke, the longer Mike's in jail, the more everybody gets pissed off, and the more we get. I mean, it's so easy, it's not fair. It's been that way every day since the McNamara email. And that was 7 years ago, David. You're just as slow as Charles. You do the same thing, you get the same results. Day after day after day. And you get all shocked and dismayed. And we're like, wow, why would you be shocked and dismayed? You ought to know by now what's going to happen when you do this shit. You do know what's going to happen. You do it anyway. You asked for it, right, Calvin? You're just as slow as the rest of them.
Please leave me alone. Please stop following me.
Do you have any idea what it's like to live like that? Judy, I have the right to live in Oklahoma. I've lived here for 9 years. And not be harassed by some weird fuck from Texas. Okay? Get them off me. I'm asking you, if you're involved in this, if they have something in your courtroom, I'd like a protective order from your courtroom. I don't bother them. They're coming where I am. I get pictures taken of me everywhere I go. So they can prove they're not in Oklahoma stalking me. You don't know the half of what's going on. You don't know the half of it. They killed a cop. And I know that. And I can prove that. That's why they didn't let me testify. They didn't let me testify. What if it was your family going through this? My whole family's been raped, robbed, pillaged, threatened, harassed. We're all tired of feeling stressed out. These guys helping me, these cops from somewhere else, they're tired of watching me feel stressed out. All right? We can't wait till this is over. We've already got plans made. Okay? We've already got plans made. It's not to live like this.
Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you.
What
I don't ever
happens?
want to hear your voice to you. Please
What
God bless
happened?
you, but
What
please leave me
happened?
alone. Please leave me alone. Please stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you.
What
I don't ever
happens?
want to hear your voice to you. Please.
Look at this. Robert lived in Arizona. Mandy lived in Florida. He's pulling up behind my house. Let's look at the date on that. September 20th, 2011. Nothing political in this. So I moved, and then I moved again, and then I said something. And my police report, I didn't have my police report. So the first protective order I went to get, I had an attorney actually in that one. I forgot my police report at home. And I had the case number and the officer's name, and the Judge Irick, denied me because I wasn't in compliance with the law in having that police report in court. So there's all these. Anybody could look at it anytime. It's all about stalking. He's coming behind my house. I might have to move. He's trying to force me into an affair, and I don't want to have an affair. There's this. He coming to restaurants because he hacked my phone, and he's looking at, finds out I'm going to Carino's every Wednesday. I didn't call him and invite him. I didn't call Catherine to invite her either. And yet there she was. Whole restaurant full of empty chairs. She sits right next to me. And it wasn't too long ago that one of Charles's guys showed up where I was and didn't sit right next to me. He sat at my table when my stuff was sitting there. I got up to go to the restroom. I come back and he's sitting right at my table. Right next to my stuff. Right with my stuff. And I'm like, are you shitting me with this? What in the fuck is this? How did you know that was my table? Golly. So, we have all this. This is all about stalking. Again, not political. My family doesn't need to worry about shit. Then there's these texts. He spread rumors of an affair. It got to my client, Frank Morrison. It went from Charles to Carl and Robin, from Carl and Robin to Chris Wynn, from Chris Wynn to my client. Chris Wynn likes to start, make a little comment here and there and kind of start a thing. So he did. It got to me. I was mad. And so Powell calls up and I maybe talked to Mike. I don't know. But he said, can we just say that Cynthia misunderstood something Frank said? And the guy said, I don't even know why you would have to ask such a dumb question. I guess is what kind of in a nicer way. But here's the thing. Mr. Perry never asks her why she's pissed, which means he already knew. And he never denies having spreading rumors of an affair. What he denies is having employees. And everybody knows he had employees. She named them. Carl and Robin Tepper. So, there's all those. You lose. I'm trying to say, get my taxes done, and I see you never again. Stay the fuck away from me. You're stuck. You have no control. You lose. That's what a stalker would say. What do you mean I don't have any control? You need to stay away from me. Something's wrong with you. I end up moving, and then I moved again. Judy, I need you to get your people out of Oklahoma. I've lived here 9 years. 9 years, almost a decade. I'm entitled to the protections of the law in the state where I live. I have the right not to be stalked, not to be voyeured, not to be exploited, and there's a whole lot more to this case than you will ever know until, my guys arrest them and we're done. We're fucking done. So also in this is a whole bunch of correspondence where you can see I tried to help Mr. Perry get elected. That was my job. So the cops could get to him. Look at this. This was before my false arrest. Dated January 4th. I hadn't even filed the police report yet. My charges were filing a false police report in retaliation for a public servant doing his job as a senator. Wow, when did stalking become part of the legislative duties? Yep. And what I'm saying is he's threatening me with death and false arrest. Neither of that is going to prove he's not a stalker. It's actually going to prove he is. So I'm sleeping in my car because he made that specific threat too. And we said it forever. See that? That's the man I wanted to be with. Look at the date. I'm texting him the date David Robertson first came in and threatened to murder me. October 12th, 2015. Look at when my guys get me in jail. Fabian. And that's not some random name. It's no one else's name. It's his name. Intersecting with the word hope. Me depicts Charles. He's a selfish little butt-in. A little wannabe. And he causes everybody to feel sad and scared. People don't like feeling anxious or stressed out, guilty, sad and scared. We don't have problems getting information you do. We get it before, not after. We get very detailed information, Calvin. This is that. This is the McNamara email. It's dated October 29, 2015. This went to my ex-husband. The ex-husband is still now trying to talk me into going back to Texas. He's managed to carry out the threat to starve you, make sure you don't make any money, doing anything at all, hoping you'll call him. Oh, I'll ruin her life and take everything she's got, then she'll love me. Said no one ever. I mean, who the fuck does shit like that? Women, guys that can get a date, wine and dine. They don't, and they respect boundaries. You're doing it wrong. Duh. I mean, you didn't find a great new way to pick up hot chicks. We're not married. We're not a couple. You're nothing but a job. That's it. Stop telling people that. It makes everybody want to vomit. You're delusional. You look like a buffoon. Everyone can see that's not the case. Hanging out with her family does not constitute a relationship with a woman. And is it personal or political? It can't be both. It's one or the other. I need a protective order, Judy. I mean, surely, you lose everything you have, it's going to make you cuss too. I get it. People get all wadded up. Oh, she cusses. Oh my gosh, get a fucking life. Get a life. You haven't been through what I've been through. When you go through what I've been through, then you and I will talk about cussing. How bad. I am the motive of a murder of a cop. You live with that for the rest of your life and talk to me then about how bad cussing is. We have a cop killer getting away with murder. Now, tell me about how bad cussing is. I mean, come on already. Get a life. So, people don't like... I mean, if they can do this, Mr. Perry, when I tell you, you get out of my life or they'll do it for you. The same way they got me this in jail and told me what you guys just said. Stop, stop, stop. Her aunt went ballistic. You think they can't do that too? Do you think... I mean, really, do you want it to be like that? If you don't like it when they do that, you're not going to like it when they get you off me. Right, Mark? So, you guys, I don't know what to say. So we got all this stuff. All of this is recordings of these guys. This right here, they're talking about here in February, we're going to take her money, make sure she doesn't make any money. Her parents owe her money, make sure they don't give it to her. Interfering with commerce intentionally, you're talking about it. You're talking about it before you did it. There's mains rea, there's premeditation right there. So she can't pay her rent. It's twofold. Interference with contracts and commerce with intent to coerce. We're going to make her lie. We're going to starve her into it if we have to. So we've got the elements of your crime met. What's your jury going to say when they hear this recording right here, Calvin? What are they going to say? We're going to take her money. Oh shit, though. It's COVID moratorium. So instead, we'll get her kicked out on smoking. Either way, we have been recorded making a very specific plan as to how to make her lose her home and get her kicked out of her house again. And then there's the smoking. I got a call from the fucking landlord a few days later. Look at the dates, before and after. That's very important. Right there. Okay, there's all this. There's all this. Then there's Sky Motel. There's all this. We got to make her take the yellow brick road. We're going to entice her. Also coercion. Also illegal. We're going to take everything she's got. They're going to entice her with something. Yeah, it didn't work, did it? I'm sleeping in my car. The more I have to sleep in my car, the more broke I am, the more we get cause and effect. When you cause me a hardship, we get more. Like the McNamara email, and it's every day. Look at all this. Every day that I'm broke, we get more. Every day Mike's in jail, we get more. Every day you're in my life, we get more. I don't want you here, Charles. He'll type in my phone, I'm here. That's the problem, though. I said, get the fuck out of my life. Get out of my phone. You sick son of a bitch. There's all this, Judy. You don't know, you don't know the this isn't the half of it. Facebook will only let you put up 80 screenshots. Believe me, there'd be a lot more. This is all the stuff that they said in a planning meeting where they expressed intent to commit a crime against me. It was a very specific plan. They planned it, and then they knew I had this, and they did it anyway. Yeah. What's your jury going to say? Juries want to see people in general don't like suffering. They don't like loss. And when there is suffering and there is loss, it makes everybody's stomach sick. Did you see people cheering for Derek Chauvin or O.J. Simpson? Or O.J. Simpson is in a bad way right now. He didn't get away with shit. He fooled the jury. He didn't get away with fuck. Nor will you. Nor will you. But when it comes to your criminal trial and your jury has to hear all this, they're going to get, people want somebody to blame and punish for the wrong and the injury. And your attorney ought to know that. Charles, you're creeping me out right now. I don't like you, and I don't like I don't like your contact. In kind. Any kind of form of your contact creeps me the fuck out. I don't like it, and you do it anyways. So if my family feels like you betrayed them, like you lied to them, what's Jackie, Matthew, and Jordan gonna say when they find out what you've done? You probably ought to sit them down and talk to them about it before you are arrested, and they have to find out like that. I would recommend it. Then there's this, all this. There's the McNamara email. I'm telling my ex-husband, he made a threat and he carried it out. I'm not going to Texas. You have a lot of nerve asking me to. And he's trying to, nope, I'll come get you. Or don't talk to me. Don't call me. I'm going to block you. Yeah, what kind of family member does that? That was a pretty hideous thing. So, people are very horrified by Mr. Perry. Horrified by him. So we don't have problems getting in for all this stuff. Mr. Perry, you do. Nobody will tell you shit. Who has it? Who actually has it? Why do you think we're getting this? Mental slow? When you piss people off, when you hurt people, they get mad. They start turning, we can get this stuff easy. All of this. So, Judy, I guess, that? Kirkendall. I guess they tried this with Kirkendall last year. About the same time they were recorded, we got to get her kicked out of her home. Interference with not just contracts, Mr. Perry, but commerce. Mr. Robertson, Calvin. Any kind of commerce. Anything I buy or sell. You get yours, you start butting into it, you're going to get charged. Do you understand? I can't say that for sure. The chances are very high you'll be charged for each time you do it. Okay? So, she said, leave her alone because I got to rule out provocation and entrapment. What about all the Me Too participants? What about all women who are stalked and victims of domestic violence? What message are you sending to them? Fucking with me like this? Misogynist, gender discrimination. What's the problem? What is your fucking problem? So, we got all of this, and this is not the half. It is not the half. Point out for me the marks on him. I put my testimony on the docket. Whether they let me in that room or not, I was deposed, and then I filed a motion to intervene. And my life has gotten substantially worse since I did that. It's called witness tampering, David. Calvin, Charles. It's called witness tampering, Josh. You got a problem with that. A legal problem with that. Legal shitstorm about to hit. And a reporter that goes, I think they did kill Chief Miller because why are they going on her? She's telling the truth. They wouldn't try to make her alive. She wasn't telling the truth. Yeah. You guys are slow. No injuries. No injuries. You can't beat somebody to death so hard their head comes off their body and look like that while you're overdosed and you're in respiratory distress and you're unconscious. He's not Magic Mike. Josh is the one. Is it Josh Burson that talked him in to go into Pensacola? What Josh know? Yeah, that's going to be a problem for him. All of this. Judy. Come on. So, everybody's really had enough of it, Judy, of these people being up in Oklahoma causing substantial financial loss and duress, substantial property loss and duress, invading my privacy, going around making decisions for me they have no legal right to make. They don't even have the legal right to know I have an account at a certain place. And they'll start calling and make decisions. Tell Sky Motel to kick her out. She didn't have a contract. But oh yeah, but about the commerce. I lost everything I have literally in a second. They walk in. I was paid up till August 2nd. On August 2nd, they walk in. And I'm like, I need to do what I always do. I'm going to run out. I'll get some money. I'll be back around 4. She said, no, you're not. You're going to leave or I'm going to call the cops. You leave right now. They almost didn't let me back in the room to get my purse. It was almost like that. I've insisted, I got to have my purse and my key to my car, or I can't leave the property. So she had me escorted to the room. I went in. I said, I got to pee. I peed, grabbed a couple things, just like my phone, my computer, my computer doesn't even work, but I was going to take it with me anyway. My contact lenses, and that was it. Nothing else. She comes in. You're going to get out right now. I think I was in the process of trying to find my phone. And she said, if I'm going to call the cops. Well, I should have let her call the cops. But at the time, I think I was in shock that she was doing that. This cannot be happening. She is not doing this right now. Then I was kind of like thinking the best idea right now is get off the property, and then we'll try to figure it out from there. Let me at least just get off the property. And so I took it. She's threatening to call the cops for I don't owe her money, but she's got my stuff. All she had to say is, you're gonna have to, if you can have it to me within an hour. They'd already rolled me a week. We're gonna roll you a week. That means you got a whole week to pay. After I was standing at the desk to pay the month before. So it was obvious somebody made a phone call, because the month before I go up to pay and they tell me, oh, we rolled you a week. You got a week to pay. So why all of a sudden do we go from that to I don't owe money? I'm paid up to that day at 11 o'clock. At 11:01, they're at my door doing that. we're going to call the cops. You get off the property. You can't take your stuff. So I'm like, wow, okay. So I go and call my ex-husband. Can you call him? I mean, some of those girls like you better. Yeah, I'll call him. So he calls. He's going to pay a week. Oh, we can't take your credit card. Your paperwork isn't right. He went through the trouble of filling out paperwork so that if he needed to, he could call and charge it on his card. And he and I can work that out later. So that was bullshit because I watched him fill it out. It was fine. Then he calls me back. Who's the bitch? Who's the fucking bitch that answered the phone? The woman that, Hitlered me. So stole my property. Anyways, so we got, then they want me to go back to get my stuff. After my ex-husband was going to do it, and they said they threw it in the dumpster. I don't think so. I think probably Mr. Perry has it. I don't think it's in a dumpster, and I want it back. So, but that property is stolen. I lost everything I had. Only thing I had was, like I said, I grabbed my contact lenses, my broken computer, and in case I can get it fixed, and my, they wanted me to fail at school, so they fucked with my computer. And my phone. And otherwise, I had nothing but what I was wearing. No clothes, no toothbrush. I wore the same underwear for 3 days until I had made enough money to buy a few more clothes and some. I have nothing. He carried out that threat. He carried it out. So, when the jury has to hear what you put me through, thinking you could make me lie, good luck. Good luck. We don't have any problems getting information, I'll tell you that, because you put me through that. So when I quote you, don't get shocked and dismayed, you asked for it. You knew that was going to happen. It's happened every day since the McNamara email 7 years ago. Every day. So you guys are hated. Seething hatred. You have no idea. Mr. Perry, that's not how you get a date. I go out with men who make sure I don't miss a meal. Never, ever do I do that. And then the next question was, and that is entrapment, by the way. You're harassing me. No one's taking your home. You're not sleeping in your car. Nobody's wrecked your car 5 times in 3 years after threatening to take it away. No one's taking pictures of you everywhere you go. The guys helping me might be, but I know nothing about it. I don't know whether they are or not. I do know that one of them walked up behind you at an event and saw you watching me on my phone, and he got it on his phone. He filmed you on his phone, watching me in the privacy of my home on your phone. So I do know that. Otherwise, I don't know investigatory-wise what else they have. But I know I don't have it, and I don't care to have it. I'm not a stalker. You're coming to Oklahoma, taking pictures of me everywhere I go to prove you're not stalking. I left 9 years ago. Said not have a conflict. To not have to fight. To just put this... Charles, I want you to shut up. Listen, I don't care what you think, and no one understands why the hell you don't get that. Didn't ask you. What I said is shut up and get away from me. You act like you have no idea what people are saying to you. It's very frustrating to have to deal with someone like you that never responds like you understood what was just said. You fucking need to be in a nursing home. You better be glad I said no to you. I have you in a nursing home like that. Because the conduct that I'm seeing, the behavior that I'm seeing, is a man who is not just deranged and demented and depraved and sick and twisted, but a man who is suffering some sort of mental status collapse and a disconnect that you can't tell 10 years into this. Same and different. It's different when you do it to me, but it's the same every time you do it. You cause a loss for me, we catch it. It's just crime. It's like watching drug deal. It's like a narc cop watching a drug deal. It's like the cop's there and you're just doing it anyway. We don't even have words for that. So, the only thing that could cause someone to act like you have no fucking idea what was just said to you is you have no fucking idea what was said to you. And I'd fucking have you in a nursing home in a heartbeat. There's no way I wouldn't. You got something wrong with you. So, the betrayal that you are doing to your own family is hideous. People are horrified by what you people do. We don't have problems getting information, you do. Mr. Perry, shut up. People are horrified by what you all are putting me and Mike through. We don't have problems getting information, you do. You have leaks, we don't. You don't understand what that means? The McNamara email was 7 years ago, and it's every day since. Look at all that. I'm quoting a fucking judge here. I need you to leave her alone so I can rule out provocation and entrapment. We knew Mr. Powell called up to Judge Egan's court. I filed, here's the thing, is I was at work dancing, and I had planned to put evidence together for my breach of contract lawsuit a day or two from then. I had my whole week kind of planned out in my head. Well, Mr. Perry ran off all my customers, so there was nothing to do. So I told the owner, I'm gonna go home. I have some stuff I need to get done, so there's nothing to do here. Mr. Perry ran off all our customers again. So I went home, put all the evidence together, got it filed. An hour after that, she filed an order that said Cynthia didn't file any evidence. And actually I did an hour ago, an hour before you put that order out. She never ruled on whether or not the bond conditions constituted a binding contract on Mr. Perry. The bond conditions that state he is never to contact me again. Because he went into Judge... What I said is, when they asked me, they want you to lie. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'll just stay quiet, but Charles Perry can never contact me again. So the first provision of the bond conditions that I had said, Mr. Perry is never to contact Cynthia Ortiz again. You admitted guilt, you agreed to stop. There's no way they would put that in there without your permission. So that is a contract. I'm under duress. In the state of Oklahoma, you're not bound to a contract where you sign it when you're under duress. But Judge Egan, because you had made a phone call and had that whole thing thrown out, did not make a decision as to whether or not that is a binding contract on you, or it's binding to you. You went into court under oath. You said there was a political vendetta with no evidence. You said there was a false police report. No evidence had been collected yet. I needed a blood test. Never got one. You destroyed my evidence. You prevented by physical force and delayed me from reporting the crime and the proper collection of my evidence. You did it intentionally. You obstructed justice. And right there, Mr. Kunzweiler was a very easy case to prosecute, and you fucked it up. And now we have a dead Lucky and an almost dead framed Mike. And I have to live with that. I'm the motive of murder of a cop. I have to live with that, and it's horrible. It's hard for me to live with it. Very, very hard. I can't sit back and do nothing. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. I'm not suicidal or anything. I'm very mentally strong. I think everybody knows that. But it makes me want to throw up sometimes. I'll be driving down the street thinking about it, and I kid you not, it's everything I can do not to have to pull over and just vomit. If I let myself think about it too much, I would do that. That had I not made that phone call, maybe that never would have happened. And 2 people's lives, their families blew up. Because I made a phone call to police to report vandalism against somebody we don't know who did it, nobody saw. Could be stalking related. I have to live with that every day. So if I let myself think about it too much, it's everything I can do not to have to pull over and throw up everywhere. It's extremely horrible. Charles, I want for you to shut up. No one cares what you think. No one cares what you think. Will you please just shut up? You never shut up. He types in my phone when I'm doing these. Like he thinks I care what he thinks. And we're all like, wow, why does he think that? So get out of my phone and shut up. You shouldn't even know what I'm doing right now. But sometimes when I'll stop and stay shut up, he'll stop. It's the weirdest thing in the fucking planet, isn't it? Isn't that fucked up? Can you imagine having to live like that? It's fucked up. So we got all this, Judy, because Mr. Perry is stalking me in the state where I live, where I have, and the laws are supposed to protect me, are they not? I left Lubbock 9 years ago. November 2013, I bailed. I hate that place. Hate it. There's all these recordings. These are screenshots of a list. Facebook only allows 80. What would happen if they allowed more? How many more would there be? There's thousands of recordings of you guys. Sitting down, they're very specific. He specifically wants to do XYZ harm. Crime against me, and they planned it. See, I've got it, and then you do it. Before and after, same and different cause and effect. When you fuck with me, that's the cause. You get caught, that's the effect. And you get caught every day for 7 years. They got a pile of it. You guys like piling it on. The longer I'm broke, the longer Mike's in jail, the longer you're in my life, the more you contact me, the more we get. Been that way every day for 7 years. Every day. You know it's going to happen. You do it anyway. And so we don't have any words for what the hell. Fucktard you. I mean, I don't even know. This is the video on the use of technology hacking. is used for stalking. Listen, I understand there's a problem with me calling Mr. Perry a fucktard. What is the problem? Do you know how many people call a stalker a bad name? You lose everything you have, and then you tell me what you want to call your stalker. Or the person that does that to you. You have somebody try to kill you, or kill a cop trying to help you, and then you tell me what you want to call that guy. Okay? I'm calling him a fucktard. That's my choice. I have the right to do that. It's not illegal. What is illegal? Stalking, interference with commerce and contracts with intent to coerce, witness tampering, hacking me, voyeurism. That's the crime. Okay? Charles, if you can't dish it out, if you can't take it, don't dish it out. Stop acting like a girl. Act like a grown-ass man your age. Grow a pair. There is nothing more pathetic than a bitch who can't move on. Grow a pair and stop whining. Everybody's sick of hearing you whine. Okay? Charles Perry goes to Oklahoma, won't leave, and then comes back to Lubbock, and he's a victim of a different crime every week. And we're all sick of hearing that. He needs to stay in Lubbock and quit going up to Oklahoma. One would think, right? Common sense would say, reasonable, prudent individual. So, when my friend Cheryl's saying, odd as it might sound, Catherine comes to lunch every time we go, or Carino's every time we go to Carino's. And then the one time I forgot my phone at home, it should look like I'm at home. He shows up looking for me. I had errands to run. Because he had a camera in my house and he knew I left. And he knew I left my phone at home. So he goes to Carino's looking for me. And that's what this woman is saying. It sounds crazy, but he keeps showing up. I didn't tell him where I am, and he's showing up. How's he know? He's hacked your phone. It's very common. There's,
Has the intent to harass you or
Yep.
stalk you as a victim.
Yep, the intent is harass. Sleeping in my car, that's pretty harassing. There's all these videos here that, Judy, you need to watch. This,
$453,000 in affiliate
oh my gosh, I get sick of this.
commissions in 60 days. Without Amazon, Shopify.
This is what police are supposed to do for stalking victims, and it does say car vandalism is a big part of stalking. Jodi Arias slashed the tires of Travis Alexander, and then the next escalation was murder in the first degree. My car's vandalized. We don't know who did it, but I tell them it's probably stalking related. David Robertson has employees staying right down the 3 doors down. Why are they here? They come where I am. So, there's powder all over that's in my truck. It's all over that room over there. So I'm going to tell you right now, that's a possibility. Listen to this video, what you're supposed to do as a victim. What the police are supposed to do. It's not give my police report right to the offender. That's not how you do that. Yep, that's why I lost my evidence. Thanks, TPD. And now we got dead lucky and almost dead framed Mike. And subsequently, you could have made up for that by getting him on the obstruction and the destruction of my evidence, and you failed again. I always said I'm not going to sue you, I'm going to out-cop you. You have no idea how many conversations there are. If we know what you say, Charles and David and all you weirdos, if we know what you say, we have our ear to the ground in a lot of places. You have no idea how many people are saying, they killed a cop, guess who caught it? This chick, Lynn Hall's kid, or this chick, that girl caught it. Yep. So, I want to be a legend. I want to be like my granddad. My granddad believed that you relieve suffering caused by crime. As lawmen, we are called to relieve suffering caused by crime, is what he said. He didn't say women because he's not a woman. But you're supposed to relieve suffering whether you're a cop or not. But for sure if you're a cop, because you work for these people. The people own the police department. Chief Franklin is the manager, not thugs, Mr. Robertson. Mr. Calvin. People hate y'all. We don't have problems getting information, you do. So, alright, so this is where Pinto here says, there's two things that are similar to what I'm just said today, my family, whatever. It's either political or it's personal, but it can't be both. And you can't hang out with their family and think you're in a consensual relationship with her. She won't talk to you. She wants nothing to do with you. So now it's just stalking. We can exclude, Charles, I don't like you. Grow a pair and move on. Everybody gets rejected. We all move on. You're inept. You failed. You're not a dignitary. You're a failure if you can't just move on like everybody else. Your delusion is making everybody sick at their stomach. Everybody's tired of feeling stressed, anxious, guilt, fear, sadness, creeped out, disturbed, and horrified. We don't have problems getting information. You do. We don't have leaks. You do. Okay? Look at your results and look at ours. You make people want to throw up. Everybody's sick and tired of feeling that way. Okay? So we don't have problems getting information. You do. We don't have leaks. You do. The longer I'm broke, the longer Mike's in jail, the longer you're here, the more suffering you're causing, the easier it is to get this stuff. So don't complain about it. You know that's going to happen, and you proceed anyway. Now we have evidence. I mean, we have information that's very specific. It's not vague. It's very specific. I promise you, you're going to wish your jury, didn't have to hear all that. Okay, we get it before. First thing this guy says is, your husband sent me. I'm not married. You got the wrong girl. What's the girl look like that you're here for? Nope, your husband. Nope. Once again, sir, I'm repeating myself. I'm not married. What's the girl look like that you're here to see? Charles Perry, the senator from Texas, sent me in. Okay. Wow. Okay, so here you go again with this imaginary marriage. A man I don't like, and we're in court right now. I'm suing the fuck out of him. He sent you in and told you I'm a wife. What about Jacqueline Perry? Does she know her husband thinks he has 2 wives? When was the wedding? There's not even been a date. They say that you're deeply concerningly mentally ill, Mr. Perry, and that it's kind of understandable for there to have been a romance there where there's sex, there's intimacy, there's 2 people close, and one of them cuts him off and breaks up, like Travis Alexander and Jodi Arias. But the guy goes, it's worse when there was nothing like that. The mental illness is way more severe when there's not been that. He's watching TV. He's John Hinckley Jr. watching TV pretending. And those kind are dangerous. He almost killed the president. You're dangerous. You killed a cop. So, this guy's, he says this. Stop. Let me see if I can find it. He solicits prostitution. I'm the wife, but he told you to offer me $5,000 for a few. Charles, I said no. Listen, the more you pressure me, he just typed it in the more you pressure me, the more pissed off I get. The more pissed off I get, the more pissed off these 40 cops helping me get, and the more we get. Stop contacting me. I don't like it. Don't do it anyways. I don't like it. You need to fuck off. So, right here. Be creeped out by him and be $5,000 richer. And I'm like, ew. He says about 3 times in here, are you wearing a wire? And I'm like, yeah, where would I put a wire? I did have one clearly, but I'm trying to see where does he say, do the thing what David does. Stop. Right here, you could run him politically, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. I want him to leave me alone. Right there. He thinks he's big shit. He's your friend? No, he's not my friend. In case you have a wire on. Yeah. In case you have a wire on. Let's see, where does he say stop? Right there. Totally interrupted me. I wasn't saying what he wanted to hear. Look. I wasn't saying what he wanted to hear. So he rudely interrupts. Stop. Kind of like you, David. Yeah, that game's up. It's gaslighting. Everybody's sick of that. Don't do it again. It's some manners. So, when you all have to suffer through what I've had to suffer through, losing everything you have, and living in your car, after that's been threatened specifically beforehand, you get the information, and you have to live with the fact that you might be the motive of a murder of a cop. If I let myself think about it too much, I'll have to pull over and barf. I can't do it. I can't allow myself to go there. I think about it, but I can't allow myself to really consider how it's like. Sometimes you're like, this is so fucking bad. This is just so fucking bad. And with the Miller kids, it's so you pissed off my family, I guess, because you've lied to them. You're gonna piss your family off because you've lied to them. And everybody, Mr. Perry, your contact is not wanted. You're not wanted. You're told on. And you pissed me off every time you contact me because I told you not to. Didn't I? I said, don't contact me. You're pissing me off. Every time you contact me, it's illegal to do that. And I said, don't do it. So we get more and more and more, and you're told on and told on and told on. And you're not going to get a date with me, sir. You making me want to hit you. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Do you understand what I just said? Act like you understand what people say. You embarrass me. You really embarrass me. You know what embarrasses me even more? That you're not embarrassed by how embarrassed you should. I mean, you're not. It embarrasses me that you do what you do and you don't understand a word people say. And it embarrasses me more that you're not embarrassed by that. I mean, I'd have you in a nursing home. You better be glad I said no. Don't pressure me. You pressure me, you're going to piss me off. Right now, when you piss me off, we get more. You do what you do, okay? But don't complain about the results. You're going to get the same results. You know what's going to happen when you guys fuck with me. I didn't pick the fight, you did. And you're pissing people off with a whole lot of power. You've turned people against you with a whole lot of power. And so we don't have problems getting information, you do. Right? You have problems getting information. We don't have a problem at all. Everybody's sick of y'all. When there's an injury, people get mad. They're mad. But what you're doing to me and Mike, very angry that I'm sleeping in my car. Very angry that you took everything I have. Very angry at what you're putting Mike through. We have no problem getting information, you do. We don't have leaks, you do. Act like you understand what the hell that means. Don't contact me, Charles. I hate it. Yuck. You're nasty, gross. You're gross. You need to leave me alone. Get a life and get out of mine. Get out of my life. Or the guys that give me all that and gave me the Fabian puzzle will do it for you. Did you like how they do? Do you like everything they do? You're sure shit not gonna like that. Okay? But you can live with your choices, right?
Leave me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
That guy's been raping you since
Leave me